Welcome back to the Coin Lover and Treasure Hunter. Today's video is all about Canadian coins worth big money. We're taking a close look at some rare and valuable 1-cent pennies and $2 coins that collectors are paying serious cash for. Some of these coins are valuable because of errors, while others are rare due to low production or special releases. So before you spend, trade, or ignore your loose change, make sure you watch this video till the end, because you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. Let's get started. First up, the Canadian 1-cent coin dated 1984 with no mint mark in fine condition, and this video is designed for collectors, beginners, history lovers, and value hunters who want to understand what this coin really represents in Canadian numismatic history and why even a small copper coin can carry meaning beyond its face value. And as you watch this long-form content, take your time, relax, and enjoy the journey through history, metal economics, minting practices, and collector psychology, because every coin tells a story, and the 1984 Canadian penny is no exception, especially when it comes to condition, circulation, demand, and long-term interest among collectors. And if you enjoy deep dive content like this, remember to subscribe to the channel for more long educational videos about coins, banknotes, and collectibles from Canada and around the world. The Canadian 1-cent coin from 1984 was produced during a period of transition where inflation, metal prices, and production efficiency were all influencing how the Royal Canadian Mint approached low-denomination coinage. And in 1984 the penny was still primarily composed of copper alloy, giving it a warm reddish-brown tone when new, and over time many examples developed darker patina depending on storage and circulation. And the fact that this coin does not have a mint mark is completely normal, because circulation pennies of this era did not carry individual mint marks, meaning all regular strike coins were produced under standard minting operations. And when collectors mention no mint mark, it often causes confusion, but for understanding the fine condition, grade is extremely important when determining value, because numismatics relies heavily on preservation, and fine condition typically means the coin has moderate wear but all major design elements remain visible, including the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, the inscriptions, and the maple leaves on the reverse. And in fine condition, the coin would show smoothness on the highest points but still retain clear outlines and readable text, and this level of wear indicates long circulation, which adds character but limits premium value. And collectors often seek higher grades like extremely fine or uncirculated yet fine condition. Examples still hold educational and starter collection value, especially for those completing date sets. When it comes to value, the Canadian 1-cent coin from 1984 in fine condition generally holds a modest market value, often close to face value or slightly above, depending on demand and local collector interest. And while it is not considered rare or scarce, it still has relevance as part of a complete penny run, and values can fluctuate based on copper interest, collector trends, and the gradual removal of pennies from circulation, which has increased nostalgic interest. And while you should not expect high investment returns from a fine condition example, it remains a solid representation of Canadian circulating coinage from the late 20th century. The mintage numbers for the 1984 Canadian penny were relatively high, which explains the common availability of this coin today, and millions were produced to support everyday commerce across Canada. And because of this high mintage, survival rates remain strong, particularly in circulated grades, and this abundance keeps prices stable and accessible for new collectors and educators. And many people discover these coins in old jars, drawers, and inherited collections, which often sparks the initial curiosity that leads into the wider hobby of numismatics and learning how to identify grade, composition, and historical context. From a design perspective, the obverse features the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Arnold Machen, which was used for several decades and reflects a classic regal style that many collectors associate with traditional Commonwealth coinage. And the reverse displays the iconic maple leaves, which symbolize Canada natural heritage, unity, and national identity. And this design was used consistently for many years, reinforcing recognition and continuity in Canadian currency. And this familiarity makes the 1984 penny an excellent teaching tool for beginners learning how to Analyze design consistency over the metal composition of the 1980 for penny plays a role in both its appearance and its long-term preservation, and at this time, pennies were made primarily of copper alloy, which is more prone to toning, oxidation and environmental reaction, and coins stored in humid or acidic conditions may show darker surfaces or spotting, while those kept dry maintain smoother color, and this is why storage is important even for low-value coins, and collectors often use simple flips, albums, or dry containers to preserve condition and prevent further degradation. One interesting aspect of the 1980 for Canadian penny is how it represents the end of an era, because within a few decades Canada would completely discontinue the 1-cent coin and remove it from circulation, and this decision has driven renewed interest in pennies as historical artifacts rather than spending money, and collectors now view these coins as symbols of everyday life in the past, and each circulated example tells a story of countless transactions, pockets, and hands, and this emotional and cultural value often exceeds the small monetary worth. For those building collections, the 1984 penny fits perfectly into year sets, typesets, and educational displays, and it is often paired with other coins from the same decade to show changes in wear, design, and metal quality. And while higher grade examples are preferred for investment, circulated fine condition coins are excellent for hands-on learning because they are affordable and accessible, and they allow collectors to practice grading, identification, and cataloging without financial risk, and this practical experience is essential for long-term success in the hobby. As we conclude this deep exploration of the Canadian 1-cent coin dated 1984, remember that value is not always measured in price alone, and this small coin represents history, craftsmanship, national identity, and personal discovery. And whether you found one in your pocket, inherited it from family, or purchased it for your collection, it serves as a gateway into the broader world of numismatics. And if you enjoyed this extremely detailed discussion, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with fellow collectors, because your support helps create more long, educational content focused on coins history. And next up, the Canadian 1-cent coin from 1867 to 1992 represents one of the longest-running and most culturally important coin series in the history of Canada, and this coin was first introduced shortly after Confederation in 1867, and it served as a daily use coin for generations of Canadians, and the 1-cent coin without a mint mark was standard for circulation because Canada did not traditionally use mint marks on most of its early coinage, and these coins were produced mainly at the Royal Mint in London, England in the early years, and later at the Royal Canadian Mint, and the design evolved slowly over time while still keeping a strong sense of national identity and continuity, and collectors today often seek these coins for historical reasons, emotional nostalgia, and affordability, making the Canadian 1-cent coin a cornerstone of beginner and advanced collections alike. From 1867 through the late 19th century, the 1-cent coins were large, heavy copper coins often called large cents, and they featured Queen Victoria on the obverse and various wreath designs on the reverse, and these early coins were made of bronze and had significant size and weight, which made them durable but also costly to produce, and because of their age many surviving examples show heavy wear and in fine condition, which means moderate even wear. With clear details, these coins can still be very desirable, and values depend heavily on year, mintage, and overall eye appeal, and even common dates from this period hold historical value that exceeds face value by a wide margin. As the series progressed into the early 20th century, the 1-cent coin transitioned into the small cent format beginning in 1920, and these coins were smaller, lighter, and more economical to produce, and they featured King George V and later King George VI on the obverse, and the iconic maple leaf twig design on the reverse, which became a lasting symbol of Canadian coinage, and coins from this era are very popular among collectors, and in fine condition many dates are affordable while still offering strong historical context, and these coins circulated widely through times of war, economic hardship, and national development. The reign of Queen Elizabeth II marked the final and longest modern chapter of the Canadian 1 cent coin beginning in 1953. Her portrait appeared on the obverse with updated versions over the decades and the reverse retained the maple leaves design, and millions of these coins were struck each year for daily commerce, and because of high mintages many of these later coins are common, but collectors still value them as part of complete datesets, and in fine condition. These coins often carry modest premiums above face value, especially for earlier Elizabeth issues from the 1950s. When discussing value, it is important to understand that fine condition generally means that the coin has seen circulation, but all major details are still visible, such as the portrait outline, legends, and maple leaves. And for most common dates from 1920 to 1992, a Canadian 1 cent coin in fine condition may be worth between a few cents to a couple of dollars depending on demand and copper content, and earlier Victorian-era cents in fine condition can range from several dollars to much higher for scarcer years, and condition always plays a key role in determining value. Collectors should also be aware that there is no single value for all Canadian 1 cent coins from 1867 to 1992 because each year has its own mintage survival rate and collector interest, and some years were produced in lower numbers while others were heavily circulated and saved, and even without a mint mark, which is normal for Canadian, since there can be variations, such as obverse portrait types, metal composition changes, and subtle design differences that influence desirability and long-term value in the numismatic market. The historical importance of the Canadian 1 cent coin cannot be overstated because it reflects changes in monarchy, industry, technology, and national identity, and for over 100 years this small coin was part of everyday life used by children, shopkeepers, and families across the country, and even after its withdrawal from circulation in the early 21st century it remains a symbol of Canadian heritage, and collectors continue to preserve these coins as tangible links to the past. If you are building a collection of Canadian 1 cent coins, it is recommended to focus on consistent condition, such as fine, across all years, because this creates a visually uniform and historically meaningful set, and fine condition coins are widely available, affordable, and easy to authenticate, and they allow collectors to enjoy the designs and history without the high cost associated with uncirculated examples. And over time, a complete set from 1867 to 1992 can become a valuable educational and personal achievement for viewers who are interested in coin collecting history, and value guides content like this helps build knowledge and confidence. And if you enjoy long, detailed explanations of Canadian coins and world currency history, this channel is designed for you, and subscribing supports future research, video production, and deep dives into numismatics. And by subscribing, you become part of a community that values history, learning, and preservation of monetary heritage. This in-depth exploration of the Canadian 1 cent coin from 1867 to 1992, and by staying engaged, liking the video, and subscribing to the channel, you help keep long-form educational content alive, and future videos will continue to explore values, history, rare dates, and collecting tips. And this journey through Canadian coinage is ongoing, and every coin tells a story worth sharing. Thanks for watching.